So, a YouTuber who shan't be named popularized a trend of torturing and killing pets, like cats, and Cr1TiKaL or Penguinz put out a pretty thorough video exposing a lot of these channels.
Today we're going to be focusing on animal abusing YouTubers, more specifically, the ones that murder cats, which has apparently become a pretty trendy thing. As a little update to the video I made yesterday, one of the accounts I showed, Angela Alvarez, has been terminated, so that's some good news, at least one of them's down. Unfortunately, I don't have any new updates on YouTube in regards to their explanation for what's going on with all of the animal abuse videos that are popping up all over the place.
I've been doing some digging for a couple of weeks here because these were popping up on Instagram and different subreddits, so I used some of my inner Mr. Robot, and I've been reporting them to YouTube directly and to the FBI tip line for what it's worth. Probably won't help. Also, I'm like 90% sure there was a ghost in Charlie's room in the middle of his video.
Daddy05, the family that was abusing their children for views and subscribers on YouTube for a long time, authorities had to beg YouTube to do something about it.
Anyway, the point of this video is to touch on the drama that's currently unfolding on Reddit. Since Charlie used his massive platform to help expose animal abusers, you'd think vegans would be pretty happy, right? Wrong. The vegan subreddit has gone into full attack mode, shaming and belittling Charlie and any of his fans while defending Vegan Gains, who under any normal circumstances 9 times out of 10, that subreddit normally doesn't defend. So anyways, I just wanted to touch on this because I actually made a comment the other day on one of Charlie's videos and I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, I know 𝒏𝒐𝒕���𝒄𝒂𝒕���𝒄𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒄𝒂𝒕 but I'm going to make a response to Charlie again. Dude's a massive hypocrite.
So today I was watching a live stream of Vegan Gains and he said that he is going to be making a response to 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒊𝒄𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒄𝒂𝒕, so that'll probably be out sometime today or tomorrow depending on when you're watching this. And funny enough, I actually made a comment 2 days ago before this live stream and it was on one of Charlie's videos and I stated that I was in before Vegan Gains called Charlie a hypocrite. I commented this knowing it was going to happen because it's inevitable. But yes, Charlie is the hypocrite here for helping animals. Let's take a look. So we're going to start off on the vegan subreddit, and I've just highlighted some of the parts I find to be quite interesting and blocked out some of the names. As you can see at the top here, it says, "Why should we be bootlicking some carnists?" And they're pretty mad that people make this distinction between it being morally okay to eat animals, and then those same people will go and call out other people who will abuse animals. Like Charlie in this example, who called out So Young, and now this other YouTuber. As you can see with the next comment here, this person appreciates anyone who tries to defend animals, but they do agree with the hypocrisy of Penguinz0, and they think that pointing that out will undoubtedly alienate him and his supporters from veganism. In my opinion, it's not just pointing out some sort of hypocrisy that alienates people and Charlie's fans from veganism, it's the way that the people on the vegan subreddit are going about it that's alienating people. I'm a vegan myself, and I'm a fan of Charlie, and I feel alienated by the way they're talking about Charlie's fans, and we'll get more into that now. As you can see, the next comment here says they already don't like veganism since they're edgy kids who don't listen to reason. I don't get that impression at all. I've felt more accepted on the 𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒊𝒄𝒂𝒕 subreddit than I've ever felt on the vegan subreddit. The next comment here calls him a dishonest hypocrite, and another person agrees. People pretty much just go on attacking Charlie in this way. Some people actually get a lot meaner about this. They're calling him a coward and saying that he backtracked. Now, I made a video interjecting into the argument between Vegan Gains and Charlie when their first feud happened. I sided with Charlie more so, but I didn't say that Vegan Gains was necessarily wrong in his arguments. I just think the way he was going about his approach was not the most effective way of converting one person to veganism, let alone his 5 million followers. What I think Charlie was doing was actually giving pretty honest examples, and people called him out for the cotton thing. What he's saying is sort of an appeal to futility, like if you can't be perfect, why try? But that's not quite the point he was trying to make, and that's quite obvious when you watch the video. The point he was trying to make is that since no one is perfect, you really shouldn't go out of your way to judge. Now, we do get some further defending of Charlie, and you're saying that it's good that he's trying to get these videos removed, and it's good for YouTube as a platform to get rid of these videos, and good for the animals. This person does go on to say that for all the points we make about traumatized slaughterhouse workers, it takes a sick person to enjoy the process of torturing animals. What I find interesting is that a lot of vegans do this. I do it myself. We tend to defend slaughterhouse workers because we know that they're brought up in a society that normalizes this kind of work, and typically the people who do that kind of work don't really have a choice one way or the other, and it ends up causing a lot of problems for them at home, like higher rates of PTSD, or in some instances, abuse. Now, this obviously isn't the case with every single slaughterhouse worker, but there are some pretty shocking statistics about this, especially in the United States. The thing is, I don't know why we can't just extend that same amount of compassion to people who eat animals, because the argument doesn't really hold up. We have this idea that slaughterhouse workers don't know any better. Oh, like they have no choice. They're the ones who are literally killing animals, yet people who go out and buy meat at the supermarket are somehow all-knowing, and they definitely know all of the abuse that animals are going through and how much they've suffered. Clearly, that's not the case. If people really understood how much animals suffered for us to eat a burger, I'm sure those people would go vegan. That's why I went vegan. That's why most people go vegan. But it's very possible that Charlie hasn't seen Earthlings or Dominion or something like that. I would suggest, Charlie, if you happen to see this, you probably won't, take a look at Earthlings on YouTube. That might convince you to go vegan. This next point is absolute garbage. An omnivore complaining about animal abuse is like a slaver complaining about slavery. Like, come on, stop making these arguments. All you're going to do is dehumanize people. You're making people who have real issues feel like idiots by comparing animals directly to humans, by comparing human struggles to the struggle of animals. Another comment here calls Charlie out because he said that vegan meats taste absolutely amazing and yet he still eats meat. I kind of agree with this one, Charlie. If you think vegan meat tastes awesome, you know, maybe just eat that, but there is more to veganism than just taste, and pretty much any vegan will tell you that it's not a diet. It has to be an ethical thing. More people calling him hypocritical and calling his fans cancerous. I mean, what are you trying to accomplish here? As you can see, there's another comment here saying his fans are even worse. A bunch of 15-year-old atheism type people. We can see another comment here where someone calls him a pathetic coward and pretty much goes off on Charlie. As you can see at the bottom here though, someone commented, "I've been trying to get attention for the live animal eating channels for weeks and I can't find anything or anyone to report it to. YouTube is messed up." Okay, so there's a perfect example of why Charlie needs to be an ally to the vegan movement, and he is. This is his second time using his huge platform to speak about animal rights. Why are vegans crapping on this? Okay, he's not vegan, but get over it. Do you want him to A, shut up about it because he's a hypocrite, or B, use his channel to help animals? I don't know what happened to the vegan subreddit, but once upon a time, they actually wanted Critical as a voice for the animals. Someone here posted a video, and this was the About Me video that Critical did, and they thought, wow, he's a cool guy, he would be great for veganism. But now that he's still the same normal dude, and he's starting to come around to veganism, we're like, no, not good enough. You must be this vegan to enter. We're saying that he's not enough of an animal rights activist to do any animal rights activism at all. We blame him for an appeal to futility, yet we're minimizing any effort he does, and we're doing an all or nothing approach. Like, it makes no sense. If we just take another look at the vegan subreddit here, Charlie does get some praise. It's good that some people are using their brain and they're saying give him some credit. Not everyone's gonna go vegan. It's good that he's actually doing everything. I don't know what this person's saying, get a haircut, you bum. This reads like sarcasm, so I'm just gonna assume it is, but anyways. As you can see here, someone with 5 downvotes, they called out vegan gains, and a person who received 12 upvotes said, because regardless of your feelings towards him, attacking his character instead of his arguments is simply fallacious reasoning ad hominem. Who are the 12 people that upvoted this comment? Are they people who were commenting on this Reddit chain? Because this doesn't make sense. How is that a valid criticism of his argument when everyone is using ad hominem attacks against Charlie? I haven't even seen one valid criticism of Charlie other than repeating that he's a hypocrite, we get it, and that they didn't like his cotton argument in the other video. So basically, we can't criticize vegans ever, and also when a non-vegan criticizes other people who are abusing animals, they can't speak either. So we're only allowing a very narrow, thin line of perfect people to be vegan, and that's bad for the movement, it's bad for animals. So if we take a look at this Reddit post on the vegan subreddit, it was actually a cross post from our videos. And on our videos, the person who posted this got 121 awards and 47,000 upvotes and almost 3,000 comments at the time of making this video. It's probably a lot more more now. That means that this post went viral on Reddit, and it's a post about animal rights. It's a post about why we shouldn't abuse animals, why killing pets isn't right. And I think that of those 47,000 people, it's very likely that some of them are going to make the connection that, gee, I love my pets as well, this is awful, and they might be eating meat at that time and think, something ain't right here. But instead of being happy about that we have animal rights trending on Reddit, we brought that onto the vegan subreddit and created a very niche echo chamber of calling that out and gatekeeping it. To take this inception to another level, we have this whole cross post within a cross post being cross posted into the Critical subreddit, and the title is "Our Vegan Doesn't Like Charlie." Now if we take a look at some of the comments here, we can see that the top comments are saying basically the same thing I was saying. It's a lot of the same reasoning. An animal lover would be absolutely delighted that Charlie is using his platform to make a call to arms against channels that literally torture and kill animals. I agree with that. We should be happy about that. The next comment, I'm a vegetarian and I'm so happy that Charlie is voicing concerns over animal cruelty. Okay. Some other comments, the moment when you're doing more to combat animal abuse than the entire vegan community. Now, I don't totally agree with that. Obviously, there's a lot of vegans doing a lot for animals constantly, but I would say that his video is doing more for animals than the thread criticizing Charlie is doing. Obviously, there's going to be some people that are talking bad about vegans here, but it's a response to already people talking bad about them. And if you look, I'm a veggie. A lot of these comments are from vegetarians and possibly vegans. So why is it that the vegan subreddit is so busy calling all of the Critical fans bad or 15-year-old atheist types or whatever, when literally they could belong to your community, but you're turning them off? Another top comment here says they want to try vegan, but they're wondering whether or not they'll turn into this type of vegan. Basically, they were just joking, but another vegetarian says that if you don't make it your entire personality, then you'll be fine. And I mentioned this in my last video about vegan gains and Critical. Another comment here says that their vegetarianism seems to be sort of spiteful between meat eaters and vegans because they're not either of those things. And if you're a vegan who wouldn't talk bad about a vegetarian, but you would talk bad about Charlie for defending animals and eating meat, then you really need to reevaluate some things. Anyways, there were a couple other comments, people saying like, oh, they're just low on iron and stuff like that, but really nothing malicious to the level that I saw on the vegan subreddit. And yet, the vegan subreddit was claiming that Critical fans were the worst ones. If I had to make a decision to be vegan based solely on what I saw in the vegan subreddit, I most likely would be turned off by veganism. However, what I saw in Critical's subreddit was a lot of proud vegetarians and probably vegans, and that actually normalizes the movement. And if I was looking from the outside in, I'd probably think, hey, maybe there's something to this. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what comes of this. There's going to be more beef within the next day or two between vegan gains, and we'll see if Critical responds. I don't think he'll take the bait this time. Honestly, I hope that Charlie just doesn't get discouraged because of all the hate he's receiving for sticking up for animals, and hopefully Charlie can keep using his platform to do some good and, take down some YouTubers that are abusing animals, and who knows, we'll see. He used his platform already to give a huge shout out to vegan meat. So I think that's great. He's doing a lot for the vegan movement, even though he's not even a vegan himself. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he goes vegan someday, but I think that we vegans need to do a better job to be more inviting. Let's do a little bit better here to fix the image. That's about all I had to say. Bye.